Coming up, turning garbage into clothing, great advancements in spinal injury treatment, great news for the world's moms, and a not quite universal translator. Welcome to Total Nileation, your existential halftime, bringing you the news that others will not report because good news does not sell dish soap. I am Niall Seguin, aka Optimist Prime. Welcome to the treehouse. Please pull up a cushion. If you're up for it, just have a little go-kart race there in the bumper car arena. I think I just mixed two things from the 80s. Um, and then, yeah, just go to the arcade, have some fun. Um, yes, I hope that was your treehouse. I never had a treehouse, which I will never stop beating to death. Guys, how are you? How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. I think I'm doing okay. I'm not gonna lie. I was usually at this point, I'm like, let's give them a little update on how things are going, and I'm more or less a blank slate right now. I guess the only thing really that's happening in this moment is I am a little nervous that I'm gonna have to do some pauses because there was a fire alarm in my building, and these things come in bunches usually. Because my fire alarm, which by the way, this should concern me very much, but the fire alarm in my building, clearly wonky. Clearly something is going on. There's like a temperature change or something, and it'll just go off 3 times in a row, and I'm just a little too comfortable with it. And annoyed, mostly because I don't know how to reset it. I know that there's a way to reset it in the condo itself. I know there's a thing, like there's a panel that I could be able to just press a button and then at least it mutes it. Like you can still hear it, but it's not deafening. And I don't know. I don't know how to do it with this alarm panel. If you know, if any of you know, please email me at totalnihilation@gmail.com. Guys, listen, let's just get to it. If there's no apps, then let's get to the entree. Sometimes you do that. You roll into a restaurant. You're like, nah, I know what I want. Let's do it. Here for you now, the top 10 favorite good news items from our home office in Finger, Manitoba. Number 10. All right. This one actually comes to us from a friend of mine that I had drinks with last week. And they sent me this little article. So, Charlie, if you're listening, you can skip this section. Just breeze right past it because you already know. But for the rest of you, I hope you like it. Engineering student Lauren Choi found a brilliant way to solve a big environmental problem. She started the New Normal Collective, a clothing line that turns discarded plastic cups into soft sweaters and beanies. It's a truly optimistic story about giving a second life to these hard-to-recycle cups and creating a sustainable fashion solution. This also marks the first time an engineering student found a use for plastic cups that didn't involve a near fatal game of beer pong and a visit to the ER. Choi's process is a masterclass in sustainability. She uses 3D knitting. What? I wrote it and then I was like, well, 3D knit. I know 3D printing. Isn't all knitting 3D? We move on. She uses 3D knitting, which eliminates fabric waste and prevents microplastic pollution. The clothes are even naturally colored by the cups themselves with no artificial dyes. It also gives fledgling alcoholics a chance to scream for the environment before Jager bombing themselves simple. What is 3D knitting? What is What's 2D knitting? Is that drawing? I have concerns. Number 9. In a truly positive global development, a new World Food Program report shows that the number of children receiving school meals has increased by 20% since 2020 alone. now reaching 466 million. This growth is being led by governments who see school meals as a crucial investment in their children's well being and a powerful public policy for national development. Except for the US, where school meal programs are being replaced with RFK Jr.'s brand of liquefied bear meat. Didn't quite stick the landing there. I don't know why that guy gets on my nerves so much. He really does. And there's like an assortment of people who could get on my nerves, but he's just right in there. He's right in there like a brainworm. This powerful initiative has benefits far beyond food. It boosts local economies, supports farmers, and has even been linked to better academic performance. This global success, spearheaded by the School Meals Coalition, shows that when nations work together, they can create a brighter, more prosperous future for millions of children. Also, did we need a study to link children getting food to better academic performance? I find like generally when people get food, they're better at almost everything. Almost everything, except maybe being sad. I think if you don't have food, you're probably better at being sad. Um, I think we need to give food to whoever thought that study was necessary. Number 8. The world has reached a promising turning point in how we use our land. After a long period of expansion, global agriculture land use has peaked and is now in decline. This positive shift is driven by a number of factors, including more efficient farming practices like improved seeds and irrigation, which allow us to grow more food on less land. Additionally, the rise of synthetic substitutes for things like wool and vanilla has freed up vast areas of farmland, leading to the return of nature and wildlife in many parts of the world. This is also great news for city people who won't have to hear about how goddamn hard it is on the farm. These people, the farm people, oh my God, it's just the righteousness. I didn't can't remember. I'm scarred from a commercial that I probably saw in the 90s. But it was so, it's this vibe of like, there's no sick days on the farm. Bitch, there's no sick days anywhere. You think, you know what happens to people in offices when they take sick days? Nothing good. They're not like, oh, good job. Way to take care of you. You guys are out there getting paid to do cardio and core work while the rest of us are sitting under halogen lights baking like the hot dogs at a 7-Eleven. I'm going to move on. This trend toward using less land for agriculture holds immense potential for the future of our planet. With the help of emerging technologies like lab-grown foods and vertical farming, we could accelerate this process, freeing up even more land for natural ecosystems to thrive. With smart choices, the 21st century could become the first time in human history that we leave the planet with more nature than we found. And man, I gotta say, wow, if that happens, millennials and Gen Z are going to be insufferable. Insufferable. Can you imagine? I mean, think about the greatest generation. Jesus. You kill one Hitler and it's all they ever talked about. That and going up uphill to school both ways. But my God. I mean, I wish it for the millennials and Gen Z, mostly because I wish it for humanity, but I'm just bracing myself. Number 7. Uh, this is like another China renewables story, and at this point, I feel like maybe number 7, maybe that'll be the China spot, number 7, and I might just say, "Hey, guys, China did more renewable stuff," and then move on to number 6. It's feeling repetitive, which is weird. Is that weird? Um, I think it's weird. Okay, number 6. Number 6, number 7. China is leading a new global green revolution that's bringing significant benefits to developing nations. The country's foreign direct investment in clean energy projects has grown to a staggering 250 billion since 2022. Wow, said one observer. It's like watching the negatives of the Marshall Plan. The observer was me, first of all, and for those of you who didn't get that, The Marshall Plan was this thing where after World War II, all the all the Western countries who fought in Europe were like, "Oh, let's throw money into Europe because it was so pretty before." Only in Europe. Like China, North Africa, they didn't see any of that money. I don't think anyone in the Pacific saw any of that money. It was just Europe. Anyways, this investment in building factories and infrastructure for solar panels and batteries across the global south, creating jobs, boosting economies, and providing a direct path to energy independence and prosperity for these countries. I fucked up that sentence a little somewhere in there, but you get the vibe. This is the nicest, most beneficial thing a nation in the global north has done for nations in the global south since England and France left their colonies. This surge in clean energy investment is already having a tangible positive impact, pardon me. The export of Chinese solar panels has enabled many emerging markets to transition to clean power faster than ever before. Countries like Pakistan and Saudi Arabia are already seeing a decline in their reliance on fossil fuels as solar power becomes more prevalent. Wow. Pakistan, sure, but you couldn't find a better example than Saudi Arabia? I, I mean, look, I'm not super up to speed on GDPs, but Saudi Arabia doesn't seem like mid-market to me. Doesn't feel like a scrappy underdog. And again, maybe I'm just listening to Western propaganda. I just feel like they've done okay over the past few decades, what with the oil. Still, nice story, right? Number 6. Apple's new AirPods will introduce exciting. Oh, here we go. I see. I got in my head because I fucked up that last one in the sentence. Sentence of the last one. So I was like, "Oh, I did it again," but I didn't. Just trust the read, huh? Apple's new AirPods will introduce exciting and helpful features, the most interesting being a live translation tool that offers a seamless way to communicate across languages, making travel and international connection more accessible. This will make the AirPods exactly like the universal translator in Star Trek if Kirk occasionally lost one in the toilet because it fell out of his ear while he was reaching to flush. Upon hearing the news, uh, oh shit, I fucked up that read. Anyways, the original read was Meld, said the makers of Duolingo. Because that's a big language app. And also, by the way, I think Duolingo saw this coming because they added chess. I don't know if I've already told you this. They added chess to the app, and it's all I'm doing now. Okay. Number 5. A biotech company is on the cusp of a medical breakthrough that could save millions of lives. Red Sea Biotech has developed a technology that to create a universal blood type that can be given to any patient, completely eliminating the need for blood donors. This is great news for millions of people who will need life-saving blood and for attendees of dinner parties who have to sit through low-key status drops from people who are universal donors. We get it. You're very special. This innovative process uses stem cells cultivated in large bioreactors, promising a future where blood shortages are a thing of the past, and a steady supply of safe, standardized blood is available everywhere. What's more, this will allow for a disturbing escalation in pranks. Uh, we're, we're going to have to control that, whoever gets access to this. Because, if you make blood, like, look what happened when cameras stopped needing film. We're just taking photos of everything. If it gets to the point where I can just get a pint of blood with no consequences, people will find a way to be done with it. That's all I'm saying. This remarkable advancement has the potential to transform global healthcare, offering hope to the approximately 2 million people who die each year from blood loss. By making blood available everywhere at any time, this technology can save countless lives, particularly in regions with limited resources or frequent shortages. The company's vision is to build factories worldwide, creating a positive and life saving impact on a global scale. um, I am so happy this is a thing, but if blood factories become like a common thing, I'm gonna have to rename my punk band. Number 4. The World Bank has approved a new and hopeful program aimed at revitalizing India's coastal communities and marine ecosystems. The 212 million Shore project will provide support to 100,000 people in the states of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. My apologies, offering new skills and diverse job opportunities. The project's focus is on building a sustainable blue economy, helping communities thrive through ecotourism, improved fishing practices, and a reduction in plastic pollution, which will directly benefit over 120,000 people. By the way, what is ecotourism? Yeah, what is that? I should Google it, maybe, but I feel like that's not eco-friendly if I'm just Googling that just to Google it. Is ecotourism just like regular tourism, but you get to brag? I'm very grumpy today. I don't know what's going on. My apologies. Beyond job creation, the initiative will also focus on restoring and protecting vital ecosystems. The project will conserve 30,000 hectares of seascapes by planting mangroves, restoring sand dunes, and protecting vulnerable marine species like dugongs and sea turtles. This represents a major step forward in creating a healthier environment and a more prosperous future for India's coastal regions. I couldn't write a punchline for this because I couldn't stop thinking about the word mangrove. I feel like that's like a bathhouse I went to once. Speaking of which, number 3. In a powerful display of resilience and unity, this year's Budapest Pride March transformed the city into a vibrant symbol of hope. Despite facing unprecedented legal and political obstacles from the government, the event saw a record breaking turnout of Hungarians from all walks of life. The massive show of support, which included LGBTQ plus people, allies, families, and students, sent a clear message that the community will not be silenced and that a united stand for human rights, and democracy is stronger than any attempt to divide them. Um, I mean, some of the community will be silenced, but only after we've established like a nonverbal safe word with the dungeon master. Eh? The march was a testament to the power of public defiance and a call for broader change. By standing up for LGBTQ plus rights, attendees were also taking a courageous stand for democracy and the rule of law in Hungary. Their inspiring action has drawn the attention of the European Union, encouraging leaders to listen to the will of the Hungarian people and take further action to protect democratic freedoms. The event's success demonstrates that even in the face of adversity, solidarity and a clear message of hope can prevail. Again, I mention this not just because it's a nice story. Shout out to Hungary. But also it's important, especially now, we don't hear about no one's covering the defiance. No one's covering like the people who are pushing back on bullshit. And that's bad, not just because we should be covering that, but because that is literally what makes it easier for just bad people to win. If you don't think anyone else is doing it, it gets a lot harder for you to want to try something. But if you think, no, there's other people out there doing what's right, maybe I'll step up. Maybe you should step up. Maybe I should step up, huh? A little judgy on my part. I didn't mean it to come across as judgy. My apologies. Number 2. This one's pretty exciting. I mean, the blood one was pretty exciting, but this one's pretty exciting. From a tender wrapper of human life, the placenta, comes the extraction of a protein that points to a solution for something that, until now, science had no clear path to. Restoring the spinal cord in people who suffered injuries and lost body movement. And if you think I got a joke here, I'm a little disappointed that you think that little of me. God damn, should I repeat that? That's fucking nuts. Brazilian researcher Tatiana Coelho, oh, there's more. Tatiana Coelho de Sampaio, PhD, professor at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, has quietly worked with a team of biologists for the past 25 years on repairing and multiplying, um, oh, pardon me, on the repairing and multiplying power of the protein laminin, which acts on the nervous system. Uh, Jesus, God, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I just love nerds. I fucking love nerds. Like just nerds who are just gonna OCD for 25 years on something like this, just grind it out. Um, I just love it because sure there's this nerd that did this and that's great for 25 years, just in the darkness. No one was giving her props then. But she was just like, fuck it, I'm doing this thing. But there's a bunch of other nerds who've gone down other paths and they don't get the jackpot because their mission, their thing, their contribution is going to be like, nope, the answer isn't here. But the nerds, guys, we gotta do something to support those nerds, you know? Buy them a drink. Maybe not. They probably don't drink. I don't know, get them some milk. Um, maybe help them do laundry and catch up on emails. I paradoxically think very highly and very poorly of nerds. I don't know what it is. I just think, I think they're very cerebral. And so the rest of the stuff maybe gets neglected. We move on. The studies ultimately produced the current drug polylaminin, a world first presented on Tuesday. Um, Pardon me. Sorry, there's a random 9 in there. There's just a random 9 in the text that kind of fucked me up. So the drug was presented on Tuesday by Cristallia Laboratory as capable of regenerating the spinal cord in people who suffered organ rupture in accidents of various kinds, leading to paraplegia, um, paralysis of the lower limbs, or quadriplegia. I'm saying that wrong. I don't know why. Paralysis of both lower and upper limbs. Polylamin was the name they went with after the drug company rejected their initial pitch. Holy shit, we fixed spinal injuries. But I can see that's a long name to put on a bottle. During the experimental phase of the antidote, which is applied directly to the spine, patients experienced full recovery of their conditions with no after effect and resuming a routine without restrictions. Upon regaining control of his limbs, one patient tearfully exclaimed, "Oh my God, I can pursue my dream again, back to blindfolded parkour Olympics." Yeah, this is gonna be a problem. This is like that limb regeneration story I had like last episode or before last episode. It's great. It's great overall, but once it becomes mainstream, we don't care about it anymore. We're just gonna get really loosey goosey. You know, it's like certain gay men who don't use protection because they're on PrEP and they think that the only thing they can catch is HIV. I don't know. I heard that. I read that online somewhere. It's not. It's not a personal experience related thing. Number one, although there is still progress to be made, the world has seen a huge reduction in maternal mortality rates. Maternal deaths per 100,000 live births have fallen by 57% since 1985. Guys, that's a lot of lives saved. That's a lot of lives saved. Progress was temporarily reversed during the COVID-19 pandemic, but rates have started to fall again since then. I gotta ask, what the hell were we doing in 1984? What the hell, or I guess what happened in 1985 that made us start this amazing sea change? What the Everybody Wang Chung tonight? Was it that song? It's the only thing I can remember from 1985. That and Back to the Future. I don't know if that inspired better maternal care. Let's move on. As a result, there are around 365,000 fewer maternal deaths each year than in 1985. Dear God, that number is almost obscene. No, it is obscene. That's an obscene number for deaths. Jesus Christ. There is still huge gaps in maternal mortality rates across the world. It is estimated that closing these gaps will save an additional 275,000 lives each year. Um, and I said will. The article said could, but I'm going to say will because I think it's going to happen. 'cause you know where I am on this. You know how I do. We always underestimate the progress we're gonna make, and then we just kill it. We just kill it. That is gonna be my stance until something or someone proves me wrong. But I don't, I think we're gonna this is gonna accelerate even faster than what these kids are estimating. And we got that to look forward to, everybody. Guys, that's the episode. I know it might have been a little short. This one's a little short. But yeah, I didn't feel like really chatty this episode. I thought I'll just deliver the goods and let them move on with their weeks. So I hope this was some good news for you. There's some bangers in here, by the way. The blood thing, spinal thing, maternal rights. That's like a lot. It's like a lot. And then China doing China things. Um, yeah. Guys, that's the episode. Please remember to rate and review if you have not already. Sign up for my newsletter. It's on my website, or maybe in my bio or something. I'm gonna try to. I'm making adjustments to the newsletter so that it's gonna be a tasty treat to get every month. Follow me on whatever social you're on. It's at Nile Sige, not on Twitter. I refuse to go into that sewer. I also am going to be on the Beaverton podcast next week, which is it's a bit newsy. So listen, the people are nice, but if you want to skip that one, I understand because it is a dry martini. I also am part of the host and producer of a little podcast called Comedians and Dungeons and Getting Dragons. And if you need an existential chaser, please give us a listen. And guys, this show exists because people like you support it. So if you've laughed or nodded or sent a clip to somebody, please consider joining my Buy Me a Coffee page. It's buymeacoffee.com/total annihilation. And if you have any questions, comments, totalannihilation@gmail.com. And that is it. Once again, if you cannot be a shining example, be a terrifying warning. Let's get it on three, everybody. One, two, three.